Dark Souls 3 is 9 years old. Mentioning that may jump scare a few of you, including me, but I digress. Speedrunners have been running this game from day one on a quest to complete the game as fast as possible. As with most things, time gives us updated strategies and techniques to push the times even lower and lower. Thanks to the ladder revolution, we leave behind 3 skips that stuck with me for years. In this video, I wanted to give a final salute to those 3 skips, because we may never, ever see them again. The first skip we're going over today is known as Partake Skip. This is performed in the Ring City DLC and bypasses quite a long running section. It starts by attacking this yapping bug man that greets you as you head towards the city. Once aggroed, he seems to chase you indefinitely as long as you continue to parry the air. Runners will keep their cameras facing the enemy as his behavior gets very unpredictable when the camera is not facing in his direction. After we bring him to the stairs and back above where we ran through the archers, we cast the spell Spook and get a partial parry on his jumping attack. Afterwards, you stand in a very specific position and get ready to tank the grab attack. As he grabs you, we hear the iconic dialogue as he chomps away at us before clipping us through the ground. Because we have the Spook spell active, we can quit out as we hit the ground to prevent death and save our position to where we land. After reloading the game, you appear at the bottom of the area you typically cannot get to unless you run all the way around the Ring City and battle your way past Midir on a bridge before getting here. This would set up runners for the most infamous skip that Dark Souls 3 runners were never excited to perform. Elevator clip was something Dark Souls 3 runners could never really fully solve. This is where many runs went to die. It starts by riding the elevator down the shaft while positioning yourself snugly in a corner. The most common method for getting into position was using a combination of attacking with Storm Ruler and parrying with the shield. A few steps later, and ideally the elevator would clip you through the archway. From here, runners would need to do a bit of jumping and maneuvering to get to a pretty important hole that requires a bit of progression to normally get to. So, not only could you bypass fighting Midir on the bridge, you could outright skip the encounter altogether and fight the boss in its arena, saving quite a bit of time. While this skip is infamous for its inconsistencies, the final skip we're discussing today is infamous for its sheer mechanical difficulty. Vilhelm Skip is a pretty special skip for me. It was like a rite of passage separating the novice from the advanced Dark Souls 3 runners. The skip starts by positioning ourselves to set up a Spook quit out to gain access to the side of a cliff that shouldn't normally be accessible to the average player. The 2 rolls perfectly set this up. Once there, we perform another trick using a plunge attack to let us use iframes from a roll to essentially completely negate the fall damage here. This fall actually sets up a death cam, which locks our camera in position and prevents more game assets from loading into the game. In this death cam position, the movement controls become tank controls. Basically, up moves the character forward from where it's facing, and the side positions rotate the character. The number one objective here is to safely climb the tree branches up to the chapel where the Frida boss fight awaits us. There are quite a few things stacked against you here. Sometimes the crabs will try and prevent you from even starting the climb, and once you do start the climb, you have a couple of archers to worry about. If these drops onto the branches look tricky, don't worry, they are. You will also notice that midway through the skip, the camera actually flips. When the camera flips, the turning directions do the same. As you make it to the final branch, there is this archer at the top that has a chance to pull out a massive hammer, which also makes things extra spicy. The final part of this skip is the perfect extra long ladder climb up the broken bridge to help calm your nerves a bit as you prepare yourself for one of the hardest boss fights in the entire game. We went to all this trouble to avoid fighting Vilhelm and running all the way around the entirety of the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. So I hope you enjoy the calming sound of the snowstorm that hits us as we climb. Once at the top, we make our way to the chapel, and you can see that as the farther we get from where we set up the death cam, the less assets that are loaded in. This includes the giant statue that blocks the path to the boss fight. We know we are in the proper position to quit out when we see the dialogue prompts pop up. The quit out lets us load back into the other side of the statue and gives us access to the final boss of the Ashes of Ariandel DLC. You made it to the end. Thanks for checking out these skips with me. As of today, it's March 21st, 2025. Just in case these future skips come back somehow. You never know what could happen. I've been speedrunning this game for quite some time now, and it's crazy to see these skips leave the run, as they were a staple for most of the years I've been active. If you want to know more about Dark Souls 3 speedruns, or see live attempts, you're always welcome to come say hello in my Twitch streams, as I can be frequently found there. Link in the description. Consider subbing to let me know that you want more speedrun breakdowns, analysis, or dumb brain rot. If there's something you want me to cover specifically, let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you guys for sticking to the end. That's gonna do it for me today. Catch you next time. See ya.